Live, yeah.
Okay, we are live. Can you hear us loud and clear? There were some issues last week where you couldn't hear me as well. I really hope you can hear me well.
They were really
Hello,
annoyed about
Joey.
that. They were really annoyed about that.
I know. Well, I hate disappointing them, and I hate disappointing you. How are you, Joey? Are you okay?
I am absolutely brilliant, but fuck me. Not only have we already got people joining the hardcore before the stream has even started, that is how hardcore these guys are. We've also got super chats coming in before the stream has even started. A £2 super chat from Paul Taylor. Paul Taylor, you absolute legend. Thank you very much, mate. But if you're ever going to send a super chat in, always send a question. And Josh likes them to be specifically
as dirty as possible.
Specific filth is what he likes for the question. So you can ask Josh anything. If it's via super chat, he will definitely answer it for you guys. How's everyone doing for a start?
Welcome into the live stream. The
well.
last week's live stream went down incredibly well. Joey, did you see it?
Did I see it? I was here for it, mate.
As in, did you see the love?
I'm a founding member.
You are a founding member.
No, I haven't been looking all that much on the comments. What's been going on?
The comments are really good. Oh, we've got another super chat from Luke who says, "Hello, babes."
Hello, babes.
Hello,
babes.
What
is it? What is it nowadays, Luke? I don't know how old Luke Howgate is, but what is it like? What do the kids say? Is it babes? Is it babe? Is it baby cakes? Is it bubs? I don't know. What do the kids?
Bubba?
No.
You never did any of those?
I never did babes. I never even did babe.
What is your favourite pet name? Both to be called and to dish out.
Oh, the big dog? Shagger?
They do know that we're in a very romantic relationship. They do know that.
No, what's my favourite pet name? I don't really have a pet name to be called. Like, I've never had a missus call me a pet name, I don't think.
You never had an all right, darling?
No, but like, darling's not really a... No.
What was the... there was those Essex lads on TikTok, and they were doing that thing. They were going, "What's that?
Satin girl, you alright?"
Yeah, can you... But wait a second, because you did it way too quickly. I need to sort of like prepare it. Can you look into the camera, directly into the camera?
Yeah.
Can you do that for me, and we'll let the audience know if it would work on them. Go on.
What, as if they would?
Yeah, if they were the recipient.
So they would go, "Satin girl, you alright?"
Let us know if that worked, please.
If you drop the girl out of that, that's something I'd say. I'd always go, "Satin, you alright?" Like, whatever, but I wouldn't. "Satin girl, you alright?"
I think what's happening, people, has become one of the catchphrases. I think that has become in the pantheon of greats, such as children, such as fan favourites.
Children.
Sorry, I missaid it.
Children.
Any others?
Fan favourite.
Fan favourite. Yeah. Any more? Because I feel like what we need to do is we need to put these in as emotes on these streams, because these lads and ladies can do that. Did you know that they can like do special emotes? At the moment, we haven't set it up, but we will. And we'll let them just say fan favourite over and over again. So,
let's get into the last episode that was dropped. The disappearance of Andrew Gosden.
Yeah.
What's his name, Josh?
I call him Godson. I think that's a better name.
You call him about 4 or 5 different things.
I like Godson. I like Gosden. I like Rue. And I like my mate that I met on Xbox in 2007.
There you go. Yeah. Can I address a little bit of backlash that I got?
Please do. What was the backlash?
Don't make jokes when you're talking about missing children.
Yeah. Okay. Should we talk about that then? Because what jokes did you make? You did make a couple of jokes.
I might have made a couple of jokes.
Yeah, but that's fine. We're all friends here,
so
aren't
what?
we? We're all friends. Yeah. Andrew would be one of our friends.
He would definitely be part of the hardcore.
He would. In fact, I saw a conspiracy theory. I don't know if you saw this. I saw a conspiracy theory that Patak Gaming, do you remember the lad that we called out at the video, putting the comments in left, right and centre saying that we should cover this case? Someone said that could be Andrew.
Imagine
because he's
that.
got gaming in his handle. You know, it's not
You
too
both
far
called
away.
him God. You both called him Godstone multiple
Yeah,
times.
yeah. We also apparently said the wrong date. I think we said that it
Right.
was in 2007. It was actually in 2004.
No, it wasn't. It was in 2007.
Well,
You
someone
said
said it was
2000.
2004, and I kept
You
fucking
s-
pranging out.
you said 2004. No. It was in 2007. I remember it
Okay,
well.
I said it.
But can I just clarify things here, right?
Yeah.
So we for anyone new around here, yeah. If we were, I mean, Josh is pretty articulate to be fair, but I'm not, right? Okay. So I don't pronounce everything right. I don't get everything right. And I don't claim to get everything right. And the people that are liking our shit at the moment don't hold that against us. So I love you lot for those of you who don't. But for the small minority that it seems to annoy and wind up and whatever, all I will say is if you were everyone's cup of tea, you'd be a mug.
and the funny thing is that's not even a cup of tea. That's actually just pure whiskey, isn't it?
Yeah. Drinking on a school night.
Yeah. Nah, come on. I think it's so funny, isn't it? As YouTubers, one just looks at the negative comments. We actually got a load of love on this one. Actually, got a load.
We're getting
of
a
love.
load of love on the true crime episodes at the moment. Another thing that I want to address. Comment. I'm sure you would have seen it, Josh. I haven't spoke to you about it. Someone commented saying like 6 true crime videos in a row, blah blah blah, whatever. And basically, they weren't complaining. They were just saying like, don't only stick to true crime. To be honest, I think out of about 15, 16 uploads or something like that so far, we've only ever uploaded, I believe, one video which wasn't related to crime out of about 16, 17, which was the growing up in the 2000s video, right? Other than that, when we're talking about the traveling episode, like there was the traveling video that we did, like how to travel in your 20s and whatnot. A large portion of that video was related to true crime, if you will. Like it was related to me
Very
getting
true crime. I think.
yeah, me getting. Well, not according to TikTok. Apparently, I made the whole thing up.
Yeah.
But obviously, we spoke a lot about me getting arrested in Thailand. And other than that, like the guy that went on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that was a true crime thing. So what we are gonna do is we are going to be dropping kind of like probably once a month or so. We're going to be dropping exclusive, sort of unedited podcasts where we will talk about different subjects. So for you guys that potentially, I don't know, follow the channel but would like to hear us talk about stuff other than true crime, it would entail two things. It would entail, one, you becoming a member to the channel, because these are going to be members only videos. They're not going to go out publicly off of the channel. And two, it would need your suggestions for these videos. So I say, for example, right, I've always floated the idea, and we both have, haven't we, Josh? And like the idea of doing a coming of age video in terms of like, we covered we did a podcast. It's an underrated one, mate. In my opinion, it is a fucking banger of an episode, right? And it was titled This Is How You Knew You Grew Up in the Early 2000s.
Yeah,
and it
the
was
truth
like,
for growing up in the 2000s is the
truth about
title.
growing up in the 2000s. Yeah. So go and watch that if you haven't already. And like, we spoke about the crazies, what people were wearing, the fucking copious amounts of hair gel people were putting in, and we spoke about our experiences, like going through school. We spoke about losing our virginities and all sorts. It was a fucking funny one, right? It was a really good episode. The way that the channel is going, obviously, we do need to prioritize making sure. And by the way, people, I can see the chats are coming in thick and fast, so don't worry. We will get to a lot of the chats, and obviously we will go into the members only section where we'll be answering all the chats. But just while I go through this quickly, the way that the trend's going, like, I just want to be as transparent as we can with people, if I'm being completely honest, right? With the channel, we need the channel to be covering its costs. Like, we're paying an editor. Some of you guys see like the quality of the videos that we're putting out there, going back from our first upload, more or less, or the madness on the M6, the two Swedish sisters, which is now really upticking if you look at the views.
Really well,
yeah, it's doing really well. We've always really made sure that we've got the best in class, our editor Joe. We've got the best in class working on the content, which means like I'm not taking it home and editing it myself. Josh isn't editing it himself. We're paying an editor. That comes with its, you know, thing, studio fees, everything like that. So we just want to make sure that the channel is making enough, and as I say, being completely transparent, just that we're covering our costs. We just want to make sure we're covering our costs and we're bringing the content out for you guys. And obviously then when you get in a trend of like, okay, cool, the people are liking the true crime and they're liking these cases and they're liking us covering it and whatnot, we're obviously going to give the people what they want, aren't we?
That's all we ever try and do, isn't it? We just try and give people things they enjoy. And I think going back to the other point is that we will cover true crime, but we're going to cover it in a way that we would want to watch it and consume it ourselves. So, like, for example, this is a very serious case that we've just covered. And we've covered a lot of really serious cases. But what we're not going to stop doing is stop being ourselves and telling it in the way that we want to tell the stories and from an entertainment perspective. Because ultimately, yes, we're talking about various issues that are quite serious, but really what we're talking about is making a show enjoyable to watch and having a bit of a laugh with it. And also, I never ever want to forget this, is that we're always going to create content as if we were just talking around a pub table, having a few pints and relaxing. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the way that we will always do it. And so we're never going to change our approach from that perspective.
Bang on. Do you know the one thing you got wrong there, Josh?
Go on.
We're not having a bit of a laugh with it. We're actually just being ourselves.
Yes.
And that is just our thing. So it's not a thing of, oh, we're doing a video on I don't know, the disappearance of a 13-year-old boy, but we're going to try and have a laugh with it. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. Like, we're trying to be factual. We're trying to cover the case. Then we're trying to give our own theories and our own, you know, 2 pence what it's worth and whatnot. But at the same time, when me and Josh get in a room together, we're going to obviously have a bit of banter. Like, do you know what I mean? We're two pals. I don't know where it came from, whether you said it or I said it, but the best way to always sum up the Joey and Josh channel is 2 mates in a pub, you're a fly on the wall, and you're just listening in. You're just listening in to 2 mates in a pub. And I wouldn't go into my local boozer and expect to be getting fucking, I don't know, what, who's quite Chris Williamson or someone like that sat there at the end of the pub. Or do you know what I mean?
Like Chris.
Or what's the other guy that used to live below? What's his name?
Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO.
Stephen Bartlett. Yeah. I wouldn't go into my local boozer and find him. Yeah, you're gonna go into the local boozer and find maybe 2 blokes like us. So if you like listening to it, you like listening to it. If you don't, change the channel.
Yeah, so true, so true. But I think overall, I'm really proud of the way that we come at these things. Shall we go into a few things around the Gosden video in particular, or do you want to do? Shall we say a few things to the chat first, because we've got lots of questions, we've got lots of chats coming in. Joey's the daddy is my favourite. Do you like that?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm the daddy to be.
We're gonna talk about Panagotis, your favourite channel member of all time, and his weight loss journey in the members section. We'll talk about him and get ready with your stats, mate, because we want to know how you're getting on, because he's on a weight loss journey. Did you see
Panagotis?
I know, legend. Stop it.
Because we want to know how many pounds he's lost.
Awful. Did you see Paddy Pimblett in the UFC last weekend? Paul Taylor has asked you.
Yeah, Paddy the Baddy. Do you know what the best thing he ever did was when he got caught on a Ring doorbell, when he went, "My dog's just done a sloppy shit outside your house." Ledge.
I have to say, I underestimated Paddy in that fight, and I thought Chandler was going to win. And the way that fight ended was synonymous with the brutality of the UFC. Like, that was like, do you watch the UFC, mate? And do you think I'm kind of glad that I don't do that? Because the amount of blood and like the aggression that those boys were putting in there was dangerous. Is that the way you look at it, or is it something else?
Blood, sweat, and tears, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I prefer Bud, Sweat, and beers.
Yeah. Fair enough.
There you
And
go.
inflicting the other way round.
There you go. No, but do you know what it is, right? I went down to my local. It was called, what was it called? Nam Yang. It was in Alexandra Park, right, in Epsom.
Yeah.
I went down there. I had a couple of pals when I was at school. They were going down there like 14, and I'd been down the boxing club, but I just didn't stick it here. Didn't like the trainer there and whatnot. Didn't really want it. This is when I'm on about like 8, 9 years old. Didn't really want to get in the gym and spar. Was a little bit scared of the travellers. Like, just, I don't know, like, just, it wasn't for me, right?
Yeah.
And then in like high school, I thought, oh, all right, these boys are going to, I don't even know if it's called MMA, it's kickboxing or something, whatever it was. Anyway, went down there, and like after like one session, they got me like sparring. And I'm like, sparring, yeah? Like, whatever. Like, I'm thinking, like, are we pulling our shots, whatever? And no one was pulling their shots. So all of a sudden, I thought, all right, like, I'm shit with my legs. Like, I ain't got to do what I'm doing. But I know I'm quite handy, like, on my hands. Anyway, I've lumped this fella on the chin, give him a good shot, and he sort of took it and whatever. Older bloke, right? I see him about now sometimes, and I think, like, I could smash the fuck out of you now. Anyway, because he took advantage, because he was like 30 odd, yeah, and I was like 14, and he just like roundhouse kicked me in the head. Honestly, it probably knocked a month or two off my lifespan. He didn't knock me out or nothing, just roundhouse kicked me in the head, and I was like, oh my god, like whatever. Yeah, and then like I remember like I found him on Facebook. I didn't like look for him, but I just come across him on Facebook and realised he was like a champion and loads of stuff and whatever. He's quite well known like in the local area. Now I see him riding around on his push bike and that, and I think I might go over and beat the shit out of you one day.
And that is quite a common occurrence. That isn't just for that geezer either. You think that about a few people, don't you? If you're being honest.
Yeah.
You go down the shops and go, I think I could beat that person up, don't you? Be honest.
Yeah.
Susan Powell. Do you know anything about Susan Powell?
No.
I've never heard of that case. That was been one that's just been recommended.
Susan Powell.
We'll have to look that.
Isn't that who Lethal Bizzle made the song about?
I don't know that song.
Powell. No.
Kickboxing is notorious for hard sparring. Oh, there you go.
Really?
Yes. Did you do any of the Thai kickboxing when you were in Thailand, or was it all just conventional boxing?
No, I just used to go in there, and I'd be like, I don't want to do any of that stuff. I just want to just pay and train separately. And they're like, we train you, and I'm like, nah. Just want to train myself, like just whatever, like let me give you 2 weeks worth, a week's worth of bar or whatever, and I'll just train myself to the side and whatever, and they'd do it, be fine, they'd be like, all right, whatever, and then you'd start on the bag, and then after a second you'd notice like a few of them are turning around and whatever, and then they'd come over and be like, you professional? And I'm like, nah, I'm fucking white collar or unlicensed or whatever.
I think you're.
But then they'd start sticking me in with the Thai fighters. So I've had technically 2 fights out in Thailand, but they were just like drunk fucking pub bar fights where you fight for alcohol for free. So
we've seen those fights. Yeah, we've. Do you know what?
You've only seen one of them.
I have only seen one.
The first one I thought a proper legit fighter. The first one I got in and I was like, are you a Thai boxer? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, have you had many? And he was like, oh, I've had a few. And I was like, well, don't kick me. I said, don't kick me. I was like, we'll box, yeah? And he was like, yeah. So I think at one point I remember him raising his leg and I was like, don't kick.
Yeah.
Otherwise it kicks off.
Was that,
yeah.
Was that on camera, that one? Have you got footage of that one?
I've got a little clip of it, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
well, I think we'd all like to see it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think would be fun to do on one of these videos? Maybe it's more for your channel, but it would be reviewing some of the fights from your career and watching clips from different fights and moments in your career so far. And we should do that. I'd like to do that.
Well, I sent it into the group chat with me, you and Brian the other day. Didn't you remember the thing that come up and it was like me, and I was like 20. What was I? 21 in the video, or 22 in the
like
video.
a little child.
I'd probably look like a kid. Like I know I've literally got like fuck all now, but I had like no tash, no little scraggly beard and whatever, and I looked proper young, and I had little black eye and that, and I'd just come out of the ring young and skinny and whatever, and I'm going, it was cringe, wasn't it? I was like, I was like, this was never going to break, and you can't break my heart.
I love it. I absolutely. We should do that, though. I'd love to do a little review of your career. Especially watching the footage, it would be fun to do that together. Do
you know when I fight, do you know, like obviously psychology-wise and whatnot, people say, like, oh, how'd you get up for it, whatever. I'm not saying, like, I have an out-of-body experience or anything like that. But I personally, this is what works for me. I pretend I'm a character in a movie.
Okay. And so what movie is it?
Brokeback Mountain, usually.
Yeah.
No, like I don't know. Like I just pretend I'm a character in a movie. Like I pretend it's not me. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So like, what you see isn't me. Like it is me to an extent, but it's not me. Because like if I was there watching it, I'd be like, oh fucking hell, Joey. Like, do you know what I mean? Whatever. But like when I'm in there, I don't know. Like even before when I'm in the changing rooms and whatever, when the nerves kick in, I'm like, you're in a movie. This is all. Don't worry, you're in a movie. Like this is a movie. This isn't real life. Like whatever. And I don't know. Like I hypnotize myself to believe I'm a character in a movie. And this character goes out, has a fight, and wins his fight. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like, I don't know. So, yeah. Super chat just come in from JPCFC. 199. Yes, fellas. What's our odds of UEFA Champions League this season? I'd give us about a 30% chance now.
Yeah, I would. If I was betting on it, I would want something above 4-1, personally, to put some money on it. Because
thank you very much for the super chat.
Yeah, thank you. I just don't. I am worried about that. To be fair, can I ask you some questions?
What a comment, by the way. Life is Joey's movie, and we're all just extras in the background. I don't know about that. I don't mind it.
I love it. Can I ask you a question? From a channel member.
4 inches on a flop.
Yeah,
sorry,
exactly.
No, go on.
Exactly. The channel members do often ask those questions, to be fair. I've got a question from the Gosden video, or the Godson video, or what you want to call it. George Owl is the man. Do you remember what we do when we hear George Owl? We have to go, He's said, I either think he had a way of connecting to the internet and meeting people his parents didn't know about, or he pre-planned something at the University Open Week and been convinced or wanted to go to London. I think he planned on staying somewhere or meeting family after, but it just went wrong one way or the other. Baffles me why police didn't look at the CCTV. So look, there's a lot to unpack in that one, right?
Yeah.
But having done the video and seen the reaction, has your hypothesis of what happened to Andrew changed?
Has it changed? No, it hasn't changed. I think that the theory that I suggested is the most likely, in terms of I believe that Andrew Gosden was groomed in one way or another.
But you think it was a family member, don't you? You think it was or someone close to him in Doncaster?
No, not necessarily. No, my main theory was that he may have come into contact with someone at the Young and Gifted scheme.
Yeah,
that is one theory that I have. Also, I think school teachers. Like, listen, I don't want to be liable for anything. I had school teachers, teachers plural, teachers that went on or were heavily accused of being nonces, and some that were proven, or one that was proven to be a nonce. Yeah, I know about school teachers that have been. I know people in all walks of life. There was a local policeman here in Epsom that got found to be a nonce. There was like I've known people in all positions in society, and predators have a very like. This is the main thing, and we said this in the video, but this is the main thing that I want to touch on. Yeah, these idiots that you see on an Ed Matthews sting, yeah, or on How to Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen and whatnot, they're idiots. They're stupid people that go in and fall for it. And do you know what, mate? A lot of the time, a lot of them, the ones you see on the Chris Hansen things, are people that, how can I say this in the nicest way or the least controversial way? They're not all there. Yeah, would we agree that they're not fully matured, right? Okay, underdeveloped, let's say, and that's the reason they fall for chat room stings and stuff like that. But to think that they are the only predators that our society has to deal with is so naive. So naive. There are people that work in education. There are people that work in security. There are people that work in all forms of, all forms of life that could have come into contact with Andrew Gosden. So let's say, for example, a school teacher that, he could have took a liking to or whatever, that he could have, been given a lot of praise by. So let me give you an example, right? And I'm not going to name anyone. I'm not going to whatever. I had a school teacher, right, at the school I went to that used to go out drinking with some of the boys that were in my school year, right? And those boys were about 14, 15 at the time. And this teacher would have been in his 50s, probably. I'd say 50s, maybe. Yeah, 50s, yeah. He'd have been in his 50s, right? And he used to go out drinking with them. And I always used to think that's fucking weird, mate. That's really weird. And like, these weren't mates of mine that used to go out drinking with this school teacher, right? But I used to think that's fucking weird. That you go out drinking with him. And I remember I said to him once, "I think you're a nonce," and he didn't take it.
Did you just come out and say that?
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
Here's
the key thing, right? I never got in any trouble.
Yeah. Okay. So someone knew something.
No, listen, Josh, if you're a school teacher and I say that to you, yeah, you're going to get me banging trouble.
Yeah, big time.
Bearing in mind, I used to get in fucking trouble for everything.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to this fella, and if there's anyone I wonder whether George Harwood went to Glyn, because it was. But yeah, if there's anyone in the chat that went to Glyn, they might even know what teacher I'm on about. But I remember I said to him once, I said, "Sir," and he went, "Yeah." I said, "I think you're a nonce." I said, "And my mum's told me you're a nonce." And he went, "What?" And I went, "I'm just saying what I think." And he went, "Well, you should keep it to yourself." And then just didn't whatever. Now, there's other teachers that I might have said like, "Sir, have you put on weight over the summer?" or something like that, just trying to wind them up or whatever. Yeah. And they would have like, "Oh, mate, I'd have had the book thrown at me." Do you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is predators can get themselves into all walks of society. So to think that Andrew Gosden could not have been groomed is naive. However, there are obviously photos at certain concerts from that night, and there are two specific photos that I hadn't had access to have seen when we did the podcast, and they are or they do resemble, I should say, Andrew Gosden, but they're grainy footage, mate. They're photos, and it's like, okay, yeah, but does it resemble Andrew Gosden, or does it resemble someone with that hair? Yes, okay. Did 80% of that concert have that hair at that time?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They did.
Okay. Is it a coincidence he's wearing glasses?
Yeah.
But what is it?
There's loads of people that would have worn glasses.
Loads of people that would have worn glasses.
Yeah.
And was he in a black t-shirt? Yeah.
Yeah.
So was everyone at the concert. They were all in Slipknot t-shirts. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Literally.
So yes, definitely. I think there's definitely a chance he could have gone to a concert and whatnot. But I would always go back to, I think the most likely thing was that he was groomed.
The thing, like, I'll reiterate what I said. Keeping in touch with someone for an entire year after that gifted gifted students program is difficult with a boy that doesn't have any ability to communicate with anyone. So it would have either had to have been someone in the local area. I heard a lot of people talking about the walk home and how significant that was, and how that could have been someone who lived in the local area.
You're overplaying this, mate.
What?
Every holiday I ever went on as a child, right? What was mission number one?
Find a holiday girlfriend.
Holiday girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you find many?
Every holiday, yeah.
Every holiday.
In your head though, like it didn't always happen, but it was always like, she was my holiday girlfriend.
Sometimes it was like, yeah. But sometimes I was playing tonsil tennis, yeah. And then I was down the telephone to her every night for a long time after, right?
Yeah, but Andrew didn't.
Lizzie, her name was.
Yeah, but Andrew didn't have the phone, did he?
There was pay phones all over, mate.
Okay, so you're saying the pay phones. Okay.
And who says he didn't have a burner?
Oh, a very interesting fact. So where's the burner gone?
Who says he didn't have a burner phone?
Yeah, fair.
Listen, the thing is this, yeah, and this, and I'll kind of not wrap it up on this because we can talk more about it, but I want to make this very, I want this one to hit home, right? Andrew Gosden was what, 14?
Yep.
I've been on this planet nearly 31 years. If you said to me, what age, narrow it down to a single year, single age, were you the most dishonest with your parents, and did your parents know the least about what you were actually up to? I promise you, Josh, it was 14.
You are so different to the way that Andrew was, though. Like, he would... I don't even think he would have it in him to get a burner phone. I personally think there's way more likelihood that it was Xbox based. But that's where our personal experiences come in different, isn't it? Like, you and I had different lives when we were 14. I was probably more likely to play a jigsaw or complete a jigsaw than I was to be, going out and going crazy like you were. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the I just don't know how well the police in that time period would have been able to analyze an Xbox and determine whether it had access to the internet or not. I just don't.
Do you know anything about Timothy Pitson?
No. Tell me about him.
Chat, do you know anything about Timothy Pitson? I'm going to tell you a little story now. And maybe one day we'll cover it in an episode.
Okay.
He's almost like the American Andrew Gosden. And really, because of the population size, you'd say that Andrew Gosden is like the English Timothy Pitson. Yeah. Anyway, chat can tell me if they know about Timothy Pitson. And in the meantime, I would like the chat to tell me right now, right? We've got 141 of you guys in here. I would like the chat to tell me whether or not, and don't worry, because we're going to cover it all. Like, we're going to run out of source material at some point. So we're going to cover everything. But I would like to know whether or not you'd like to hear more American cases when it comes to these true crime stories. I find that the reason that we've been doing a lot of English ones recently is they're more relatable. We remember sort of being around at these times and whatnot, and we're able to give a better insight on it. But Timothy Pitson was a young lad from America. His mother and father were together. They didn't go through a breakup. They were together. One day, his mother vanishes into thin air, basically, and so does Timothy. The school say that the mother has come to pick up Timothy early that day, and the mother is seen on CCTV with Timothy. It was like she gave him the best weekend. She took him to a theme park. She did this stuff with him. All the while, his dad's thinking, like, God, what is going on? Like, where's Timothy Pitson or whatever? Anyway, long story short, his mum gets found in a motel room. No sign of Timothy. A note saying, you will never see Timothy again, but he is with people who will care for him. Not who love him, i.e., past ancestors and stuff like that. People who will care for him. Many people have theorized that the mother did something with Timothy, i.e., offed him and hid the body, and the body's never been found. But since then, there's always been rumors that he's out there. People suggest that maybe he became part of the Amish community, right?
Yeah.
People say that, and actually, a couple of crazy people have claimed to be Timothy Pitts, and it's been debunked recently. So yeah, that's a case quite similar to the Andrew Gosden one in terms of like kid just vanishes into thin air. And there's so many of these American ones that I know, and I know quite well. Obviously, there's American ones that we've covered on the channel. I would love to cover the Chris Watts case on our channel. The guy that was having a what do you call it? An affair, and he killed his whole family. He was right crank, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. That would be a good episode, and we will cover that. I'd like to do the Chris Benoit case because I remember that happening in real time, and I remember thinking, like, there was a look in his eyes when he was wrestling where you were just like, "There's something going on there," and obviously the wrestling massively impacted his.
I think the death of Eddie Guerrero also impacted him. That was his tag team partner at a point. The Luke Mitchell case, we've had this suggested quite a few times. I will look into it. We'll look into the Luke Mitchell case. Obviously, coming up shortly, within the next 10 minutes or so, we are going to head over to the members only section. And in the members only section, we're going to reveal a shortlist, aren't we, Josh?
Yeah, let's do the videos that we've got coming up, and then the members can decide in the order in which we're going to do it in. I think we've got Sunday's video done.
We've got an order in terms
in
of
our minds.
Well, I think we definitely know what the next one we're recording is, so they won't be deciding on that. But after that, and obviously open to suggestions. That's going to be in the members section. Obviously, in when this stream goes down, we go back up within 2 minutes. It goes live to the members only. With the benefit of that stream, we bring the members basically one live stream per week, which means that because it's members only, you'll have less people in the chat. We can be a lot more responsive and get round to all of your questions. Obviously, you get to give your input a lot more in that, and we give you some exclusive stuff. So like last time out we were saying about the fact that I'd had one of the guys involved in the Jay Slater case actually reach out to me and speak to me. And
very tactically done there. I like it. I thought you were gonna say them.
What?
I thought you were gonna reveal who it was.
Rocky. I already said it.
Yeah.
But he reached out and I spoke to him. Whatnot. He had seen the video. He liked the video. He said he liked that. That was his words. He said he really liked it. He said he enjoyed watching it and whatnot. So yeah. And that was kind of revealed in the members stream. So yeah, there's a lot of perks of being a member. Also, being a member, you get your videos normally on a Friday, but sometimes more than 48 hours before. Sometimes you get them on a Thursday if the videos are ready. But our upload schedule for just our subscribers and anyone on YouTube that wants to watch our stuff is every Sunday 10:30 a.m. So every Sunday you wake up, you've got a hangover, you go, you have a couple of paracetamol, you make yourself a coffee, and you sit down and you listen to a bit of true crime with Uncle Josh and Uncle Joey.
And Auntie Joey. Yeah. If that doesn't sell you on the memberships, nothing will. I mean, we've had a lot of good chats with our members in those members only live stream, and you can ask stuff that wouldn't otherwise be answered. And I have to say, the membership is going mad. You're going to be part of a very good group of people right now because there are some legends in there already. And I cannot wait to discuss the weight loss program with our friend in Cyprus.
Speaking of going mad, the TikTok's going mad as well.
Yes.
The number on 26,000 followers.
Can we just have a little brief moment to pat ourselves on the back in that we have officially, and if people are watching now that aren't subscribed, this is a great time to subscribe. Yeah, well done. We've hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Get up.
Did you think we'd see the day? That is a huge milestone. So we've hit that on YouTube. And then, as you say, over 25,000 on TikTok now, which is all a testament to your hard work on there. We've had a few mad clips on TikTok recently. If you haven't followed us on TikTok, this would be a good time to do that as well. But there's been some big ones, haven't there?
the funny thing about the TikTok, right, is I stopped making them because
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know, like, you're putting stuff out and it's getting like 600 views, 700 views. I was just like, oh, fuck with this, whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously, the thing about the Joey and Josh channel and the reason I'm so happy and so infused, I think the word is, with the direction things are going in and the way things are going at this moment in time is, I would say a month ago, we were kind of closing in on the borderline of like, right, do we keep on doing this, do we not? Because for both of us, we're putting a lot of hard work and effort into it. And then I can only speak for myself, like I could see like that I wasn't being able to put as much work into the boxing channel and stuff like that as maybe I would like to. With boxing, it's very
event dependent, isn't it?
It's event dependent, and the ceiling isn't unreal. Like my highest ever viewed video has been a boxing video, by the way.
Yes, which was a fantastic video. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Well, who was it? What was it? What was the guy called? Can't remember.
Billy Joe Saunders.
Billy Joe Saunders, yeah.
And he reached out to me after I made the video on him. It was kind of like a fan-made documentary style video. And I want to do more of them, and I still will do more of them. Hopefully, when I get more time, I'll be able to do more of them and whatnot. And then the Chelsea channel, it's like I could never. I don't care. Like, I don't care whether the numbers go down to fucking 200 views a video. I'm not gonna ever stop doing the Chelsea channel. You know what I mean? Because obviously, it's my one true love. It was my first love. You break up with many girlfriends, but you never break up with your football team. There you go.
You never do. Even though we have thought about doing it,
how
Jerry.
badly they do you over, you always just keep plugging away. But yeah, so obviously it was taking time away from things, and I would say only about a month, 5-6 weeks ago, we were looking at it and we were like, right, do we do something else? Do we go in a different direction with this? Do we whatever? And then we had a random TikTok where we were talking about Jamie Oliver ruining school dinners. It blew up, went 1.2 million or something. Yeah, I mean that Jay Slater one's done like 2.4 million now.
Yeah.
So we went and went in and looked at TikTok and sort of thought, there's a bit of a market there. Maybe let me try start editing a few and putting a few up and whatnot. And then they started doing really well. It started getting really successful, and it sort of it went in line with the channel itself starting to be a lot more successful. I mean, 100 times as successful as it was at that time, right? And the videos were doing really well. We thought that we were just catching fire, and now in the space of a month, how different things are.
This is the thing, though, is that really, what I always advise people if they are wanting to start YouTube channels is only ever do it with something that you love. Do you know what I mean? Only ever create something around a topic that you could talk about for 10 hours in a row and not stop. And your love of true crime is something that really we should have identified, because you talked about it from the moment I met you. You know, from the first time we ever met in person, we were talking about these cases, and actually the case in which someone has actually asked us, do we have an update on the Swedish sisters, the Eriksson sisters, which was, I mean, thank God we did do that video as well, by the way, and I'm glad that video is getting the love it deserves. I've been trying to give it a little push on some of our other videos, Jerry, in the cards at the end, because I was particularly enamored with that case, because I find that story, in terms of like just the story itself, the twists and turns, that is one that blew my mind every time. Like, something happens, and then you're like, "Oh, cool, that's mad," but like in itself, you know, you could explain it away. And then the next thing happens is like, "Oh my god," and it keeps going and keeps going. That's why I love that story so much.
Yeah, yeah. I think true crime. It's not necessarily even just true crime, just like crime, dodgy dealings, violence. It's always just been something I've just been drawn towards and a bit obsessed by. And I think that where the YouTube community were introduced to me as a football guy, they're like, oh, that's this guy's life. And it's like, it's a big part of my life. But fuck me, there's you know, there's multiple facets of what I'm interested in and what I would love to talk about and stuff like that. But I think for quite a while as well, I had a bit of imposter syndrome in terms of like I can't go and start talking about fucking Jay Slater or whatever. Like I'm just a Chelsea YouTuber and whatever.
Yeah,
And
that's so
now
silly.
I've very much got to a point where I'm like, I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want, mate. Do you know what I mean?
And you do it so well. I mean, look, mate. To talk about the Jay Slater case, you've put yourself down because you're the best person in the entire world that wants to talk about that. Right, let's answer a few final questions, Joey, on
Before we
this,
go
and
into
we'll
the
go
members.
into the members.
Yep.
Higher Sense said to me, Josh, we landed on the bloody moon in 1969. Well, don't ask Joey about that. But we didn't have the technology to check on an Xbox in 2007. My point is this on that. I don't think a police force in 2007 would have experts that would be able to identify whether an Xbox in particular had access to the internet. Yes, they could do the normal... No.
That's
Listen.
a load of shit, Josh.
No.
You're talking rubbish.
No. There are people that wouldn't have a fucking clue what an Xbox was working in those departments that worked on
Ask your
laptops
kid.
and computers.
Ask your kid.
They wouldn't do that. They're police forces. No,
Right.
no way.
Siren goes off as you say that.
Yeah.
Have you noticed? Shit's always going off outside,
Mate,
man,
I've
isn't
got it outside my place. I never know whether it's you or me, to be honest with you. I live above a main road, so it's fucking
I know.
horrendous.
No, I'm calling bullshit on that, Josh.
Nah.
I don't think you've intended it there, but police in 2007 would absolutely be able to gain access to an Xbox and see whether or not that Xbox had live and was communicating
They wouldn't
with
even know
people
what live was.
on like mate.
Come
on.
Here we
Come
go.
on, you got to think about this. Cases a lot more like a lot harder than that have been solved through technology from a lot further back.
I think which surprises me that you're doing this. I think you overestimate the capability of certain police forces at certain times. And I
don't overestimate them. I don't overestimate
just
them
did.
at all. I don't overestimate them, but I think that is a
basic,
huge underestimation of not police forces, of just common sense.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. The Luke Mitchell case, Joey, keeps coming up, and a lot of people are commenting about this. So we are going to have to look into this because it's one that I see on every single video. People talk about this.
I actually want to cover the one of the guy who's missing at the moment in Sheffield.
Yes. Do you know?
Do you know about that?
No.
No, I don't know his name. No.
Okay, let's put that on the list as well. We've got MH370 as well.
Have you ever known anyone that's gone missing?
Other than myself, no.
When did you go missing?
Gran Canaria, probably similar time periods. Probably. How old was I? About 9. Yeah, maybe 2000.
Luke Howgate. Most of the police forces are made up of melons. Yep, can't disagree.
You can't call them that, Luke. You can't call them that. You have to call them boobs. Next one.
Thank you for the super chat, Luke. I hate the old Bill. Sorry. Put it out there. Don't like him.
Don't say that. It's public. Don't say that.
Like
They'll get you. They'll come and fucking get you, my
please.
friend. Right. Should we go on to the members stream?
We're going to go on to the member stream, but as for the 130 odd people in here, if there are any of you that want to continue with us and you want to get your questions direct to us, because in the member stream we'll obviously be a lot more interactive with the chat, answering the questions of the members. Josh, how do they become a member?
If you want to become a member,
if you're on a phone,
if you want to become a member,
Android.
I think whatever device you're on, the easiest way is to go into the video description that is on this live stream. There is a link, or literally the top link in there. It will take you direct to the members area. Then all you need to do is just sign up, put your details in, and you can get going. What it enables you to get, just to reiterate that, earlier videos than anyone else, 48 hours early up to. Also, these private members live streams, and then also all the fun behind-the-scenes content that we do. And you are going to love that, because extra early videos are going to be incredibly useful, Joey, because of the next video that we are going to be covering and who it is.
We're going to reveal the
And
next
why that
video,
is.
by the way, in the members stream. Sorry to talk over you, Josh. We're going to reveal the next video that you guys are going to be getting. Obviously, members will be getting it probably by Friday. Well, definitely by Friday, potentially earlier. It's actually quite a long video. It could have been 2 parts if we wanted to, but we thought, fuck it, let's make it 1 part and let's make it one good old sitting, a good session. And it is one of, if not the most infamous UK case of my lifetime, I would say. Definitely my conscious lifetime. I can think of maybe... I believe there are 3 cases in my lifetime, and one of them wasn't in my conscious lifetime. It was like when I would have been a baby. There are 3 cases that are the most prominent sort of UK cases, right? And I don't even include... This is how mad this is. I don't even include 7/7 in those cases, the London terror attacks. I don't even include 7/7.
Would you? I wanted to ask you about that. Would you like to cover that on the channel?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Because I have a connection to that. Do you know this?
No.
Well, not a connection. I was there. I was in London. I was on a tube train that morning.
Oh, that's tasty.
Yeah, I was well, not involved, but I was very close. I mean, when I talk about very close,
so you had a shave with death.
I was. What train line was it that was affected? Can you remember? Was it a Northern Line train?
Don't know.
I think it was a Northern Line.
It wasn't just one train. It was a couple of tubes and a bus.
I think it was a Northern Line and a Bakerloo line.
2 buses, basically.
Yeah. Or one of those. And I had taken both of those lines that morning. To get into London. So I would love to cover that case. I think we should do it.
Just before we come off of it, right? There was a period of time. So I was about to say I suffer with it. I definitely don't suffer with it, but I'm obsessive. Like, I get obsessed with things, and I'm like, I think you and Brian probably clocked this with the Jay Slater thing, didn't you? At the time, that was probably the first time that you clocked, like, oh, Joey gets obsessed with stuff, like,
yeah.
And I'm on about, like, it's on my mind 24 hours a day, right? I went through a stage, just seeing Noah in the chat saying, got to be Venables. Venables is up there. We will speak about that in the members section. That's definitely something that we're going to be covering. I went through a stage where I became obsessed with terrorism. And I became, like, very worried about terrorism, right? And to the extent that, say, like, Kingston, right? Kingston has a high street.
Yeah.
And if you could potentially have mounted the pavement, right, in a car and drove straight through Kingston High Street. And when me and my missus at the time used to walk along the high street, I used to always make her walk with me in, like, basically in shop doorways. So we'd be, like, getting in the way of people, of doorways. How mad is that? Like, I was pre-smoking a lot of weed at the time as well. But, like, I became really paranoid about terrorist attacks, right? And it was around the time of, obviously, the Manchester Arena bombing. Again, another one that we could cover. And then you had Lee Rigby first. I believe you had the Manchester Arena bombing next. You had the Westminster Bridge attack when they tried to get into, is it Parliament or where is it?
Yeah, it was
Westminster Bridge attack. Yeah. Someone in the chat earlier on mentioned Fraser Clark. Fraser Clark was actually there and actually helped during that situation.
I heard that. Actually,
But yeah, you had that, and then me and my missus at the time were in Tenerife, yeah? First weekend of June. Now, anyone that is from Epsom knows that the first weekend of June is always Derby Day. Yeah. Derby is where it's famous for the horse racing, but if you're from Epsom, a lot of people don't get suited and booted and go in the stand. They just go over in the field, right? And I said to... I rung up my sister and I said, listen... I said, don't go Derby. And she was like, why? Bearing in mind, some derby days, you'd get up to like, I don't know, probably nowhere near as many now. But like sometimes you'd get like, I don't know, 20, 30,000 people, 40,000, 50,000 people, maybe more. Maybe there's been ones where there's been 100,000 people basically over on that field at Epsom Downs, right? And I remember I was out in Tenerife, so I was missing Derby Day anyway, but I rung up my sister and I said, listen, Days, just trust me. I've got a bad feeling. Don't go Derby. And she was like, why? And I was like, I'm just scared there's going to be a terrorism attack at the Derby. And she was like, why? And I was like, well, think how easy, like, because I know people that have been chivved up there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very easy to get stuff in. Like, if you had something in a backpack, explosives, something like that, you could easily set it off, right? Very easy. There's no security checking to get on that field, Epsom Downs at Derby. I didn't use to back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And I was really worried about it. So yeah, like I called up my sister and I said, don't go to Derby, right? So anyway, being the way my sister is, she's like probably in a similar mold to me in terms of like, even if she wanted to go and her plan was to go, she was like, oh, fuck it. Like, if I went and now something happened and my brother had told me not to go, whatever. So she didn't. They decided to go to London for the day. They went to Borough Market. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I do, yeah. Borough Market one was particularly scary as well. Really, really scary stuff that was.
That day.
Yeah.
So
I
inadvertently sent my sister.
Yeah.
And my best friend and a few of my pals up to Borough Market where there was a terrorist attack that day. Luckily, much like your situation,
how
much
did you
like
do that?
Because I was trying to protect.
I know.
Luckily,
that is bad luck.
It's wow, it's weird.
Yeah.
Luckily, much like your situation, they were there an hour and a half before it happened, something like that. But yeah, they were in Borough Market that day, and it was off the back of me saying don't go up to the Epsom Derby.
Thank God that they were enough away from it from a time perspective.
But let's carry this one on.
Do it. Can we do one thing, Joey? One thing. I'm just going to do one more reminder for these guys because I would love as many of you as possible to come into this next one because this is going to be fun. So if you haven't already joined, there is a link in the description right now. It will take you to join and sign up as a member. It is very, very simple. We will be there in less than 5 minutes and we can carry on this wonderful conversation.
We'll probably be there in less than 2 minutes. And if that isn't a teaser enough for you, we are going to tell you what the next episode to drop will be.
Let's do it. Right. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for joining this one. We really enjoy these live streams. Next week, by the way, before we go, Joey, next week's live is going to be really good. Do you know why? Because the video that we're about to do, or we're about to release on Sunday, I think we could talk through for another 3 hours, to be fair.
Easy.
So we should, we'll definitely have to do that this one. But thank you very much. We'll see the members in the next. Okay. We should be straight in here, Joey. We are back on the live stream and back with the members. You guys know that you're the special ones. I think we've got a lot of people to check in with. Joey, what I want to do on this stream, because there are some people in here that I think of very fondly, and I want to start giving them some pet names. So, because Panagotis...
I would love to, but the Pandog, obviously.
Pandog, right.
Panda.
I want to give the Pandog a pet name. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Pandog.
What are you thinking?
The Pandog.
You're just thinking the Pandog?
I mean, the Pangoat is pretty good.
The Pangoat.
Because the Pangoat is the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But you've either got to be the Pandog or the Pangoat. You can't be both.
Let me just check. That I've not gone live onto the old live stream, which I have a feeling I might have. 1 second.
I think you might have.
Have I? Oh dear. They're getting extra. Yeah, we're still back on that one. This is crazy. Sorry, guys. We'll be back in a second. Okay. Let me make sure, Joey, that I've got us in here.
Yeah, because
I fucked it.
The last one up.
I fucked it right up.
But did you do the kickoff today?
I did.
How was it?
It was great. It was great. It was really good. Right, let me just make sure, Joey, that we're doing this right. Members live stream. We should be here. This is really weird. It's not working.